just in case. Good evening. I'm Rebecca Highbottom, and this is the Red Lipstick Republic fake news broadcast, where we do our very best to bring you all the fake news, conspiracy theories, and rumors that we can scavenge. Basically, we are your geopolitical soap opera reporters. That's what we do here. We take utmost care in following the most reputable sources such as Twitter, Snapchat, Facebook, and let's not forget YouTube, where you and I meet. Fact-checking is not necessary, as this broadcast only reports on certified fake news. We are here for your entertainment only. Who would want to make you smarter, right? That's not us. Should you be inclined to come visit us again, please support us by clicking the like and subscribe button. As you probably are well aware right now, your votes count. So please click all of the little buttons that are available for you. Without further ado, let's get into our today's broadcast. Today, I am quickly coming to reintroduce myself. It has been well over a year. We're going on to the 2-year mark, and I do apologize that I fell off the proverbial wagon. But as everyone else is struggling in the world, I am, let's just say, not exceptional to the struggles of the world. A couple of deaths in the family and other turmoil events have kind of nudged me off of this road, but I am back, and we are just as dedicated as we were in the beginning before everything started crumbling. Just a quick overview of some of the things that we have missed while falling off the wagon. And we're just going to quickly go over how in 1 year, there's just a few stories that we didn't touch on, but that you are probably well aware of. Apparently, I need to get back to speaking more. And we just wanted to remind you that these are some of the stories that we will be touching on. The broadcast will take a little bit of a different turn. I will have news stories that are not maybe so tethered to time. And then I will also have news stories that are actually relevant to the time that we are in. There are some things that are timeless. Some things as part of our one of our broadcasts about 1984. Since that broadcast, 1984 has absolutely just blown up in terms of awareness. There's just so many people that are aware of 1984 that at this point, I'm just really happy that I'm able to get back on the wagon, and that we are able to maybe in some of the broadcasts look to some of those timeless pieces that we need to look at in order to understand where we are today because of the plans of yesterday, let's just say. So just very quickly, some of the things that have been popping up this year that we missed. And by the way, happy new year. May 2024 be better than 2023. Although doubtful, there is still such a thing as hope. And we as human beings have that wonderful asset of having hope. In fact, I think hope is now turning into an Achilles heel, because a lot of us are on hopium now and not hope. Hope should be rooted in some facts. And I think that's where we sometimes go wrong. So that's why I felt that I did need to get back on the wagon. This broadcast must happen. And as I said, the format will change a little bit. We will have some broadcasts that are time sensitive and some broadcasts that are timeless. So bear with us as we are trying to get back on the wagon. Sometimes with a moving wagon, it's not as simple as just getting on the wagon. I have many more complications here in the studio and in life in general, as everybody is struggling with the 6% inflation. I don't think that most people would agree that we have 6% inflation, but if you do agree, I would like you to leave some comments in the comment section and let me know exactly how it is that you're coming to 6%, because anytime I go to the store, it is 100% more than 6%. There is an edition of newspapers, of conspiracy newspapers, that we here at Red Lipstick Republic subscribe to, and this newspaper is called Druthers. This is a Canadian group of folks that have gotten together and decided that there's just no hope in getting real information from the Sunday Star or the Toronto Sun or the Oakville Beaver or any of these publications that are ultimately connected to the big money. And any big money isn't going to steer you in the right direction. In fact, it's going to take you in a direction where they need you to go. One of the stories that occurred in May, I don't have anything later than May because I haven't been able to dig it up. One of the big stories in May 2023, which was last year, was bye-bye private ownership. And of course, our favorite Klaus is the spearheader of this. Now, I do have a question that may seem simple, but who voted for Klaus? So in this issue, there's a few big headings. Bye-bye to private ownership. In this article, it goes on to say that you will own nothing and you'll be happy. And this is how the world could change by 2030. So in this whole article, it goes on to say how they are going to be stopping fuel-powered motor vehicles, and we are going to be transitioning into the electric vehicles, only then to perhaps find out down the line that they are not as efficient, they are not as good, and they do not get you to the places that you need to get. That was in 2023 May. Then there is a lot about the sickness and about how the treatment correlates with now the new deaths or the perishing of people, and that there's strong correlations and they are not being talked about in the mainstream media. This is another one, and it's basically the sickness is a Trojan horse to get to the treatment that is required. Then what else? Oh, myocarditis in kids under 18, cases up by 100 times in Canada. This was in May. I'm not going to read the articles. I'm just simply trying to showcase how much we've missed since I fell off the wagon. Evidence, lockdowns kill people. This is a Swedish report, and it basically proves that 14 days to flatten the curve, not only was it inaccurate, it was actually the opposite. It actually did nothing except hurt people, and mostly young people. So we are actually now hurting the future generation, the ones that we're so worried about with the agenda of weather and all of these other things that are happening. So those are I just want to showcase some of the few things. And then there was one really good article about how we are ruled by psychopaths, and is this type of people even the same quality of human as us, the people that are being, The other thing that was big in 2023, which you and I missed being able to have this conversation, is letting men play in women's sports. This has been the showcase of 2023. In 2023, this was by far one of the biggest stories. And I just want to bring to your attention that if we are in a world where children in grade school are perishing because of myocarditis and heart disease and stroke and things that are for aged people to be coming down with, we're more concerned whether or not men and women that are transitioning have a restroom. That's our priority. So this is just to showcase. So in September, what started being a big focus is 15-minute cities. The 15-minute cities now are being pressed and pushed, and I believe that in 2024 we will be visiting these stories ad nauseum. So September 2023, we were talking heavily about 15-minute cities. We didn't get to touch on that, but I promise we will. And then the other thing that was really prevalent is the education system and how it is basically being debauched by, it doesn't matter right or left. If you're still in the right or left politics, you are still stuck in a cyclone of horse crap, because right and left is, it's like my right hand or my left hand. It's still part of the same body. People, right and left it doesn't matter if you're right or left. You need to stand right down the middle. We need to stand for humanity, for what is right, for what doesn't hurt people. Not safety, but what doesn't actually hurt people. Because safety has been clouded with masks, with lockdowns, with taking treatments that are not effective. Not only is it not effective, but it is harmful. So that was one of the things that was a big story in 2023, was that the education is being so debauched that it is now destroying the views and opinions and how children are actually starting to view the world, because now we are bringing in information for them that is geared around the whole sexual exploitation. Really, it's not a sexual revolution of the LGBT. It is actually destroying the true LGBT community. It's doing two things. It's destroying typical children that don't have confusion. It's creating more confusion in those typical children. And it is actually destroying the validity of true transgender, bisexuals, homosexuals, lesbians. These people are actually being hurt by this agenda. But I digress. We move on. The other very big story in 2023 that we missed while I was away off the wagon is Canada and many parts of the world were under extreme fires, to the point where there are many sources that have been able to prove that this is not a natural wildfire, that it was somehow pressed and pushed, it was somehow created, it was somehow orchestrated. And there is just so much to show that in Canada, the wildfires were of a spectacular show, that it did not explain why things were happening. And the way that they were dealing with the fires was also a very, very interesting thing. We will get into that. I will dive into it more. I will do some research and we'll have the traditional broadcast on it just specifically. And Hawaii was a big one in 2023. There was many activists that were able to uncover things that really didn't make sense. People were literally burning in hugging a dog. So there was a body that was found hugging a dog, and it was literally, the body was incinerated in its spot. Now, a regular fire would not do that. Only because when you're on fire, you are in pain. I know personally, I know people that work for the fire department, and the one thing that they say is, when you are dying under flames or under the condition that you're dying being burned alive, you are not sitting still. So this person was still hugging the dog was still, and they were incinerated. So in Hawaii, there's a whole thing to uncover. I just need to go to all the sources that are tinfoil based. That is that. Let me see what else. Moving on. October. Moving on to October very quickly. Some of the things that were talked about in October that we missed talking about. The onset of the sickness that was not at all planned. What started happening is certain treatments were very, very quickly taken off the shelves and not allowed to be used. And those treatments were all, for the most part, based in natural from natural sources, herbs, supplements. There was two of those, ivermectin, and oh my goodness, I can't remember the other one. But there was two long-standing supplements. They weren't supplements. They were actually the courses that people used for malaria, people used for the last, proven 50 years worth of evidence that they are not drugs that would harm, and they have had the test of time to show that these drugs wouldn't hurt you. So there's no question that they can be taken without fear of having any real side effects. Well, as of October 2023, the government is now talking about obliterating natural health care. So meaning all of the supplements, minerals, what they're trying to do is they're trying to put an attack on these supplements because they are taking from pharma. So that was discussed. I will probably do a deeper dive on that. What else was very... Yeah, so then there was Bill C-47, attacks natural health care. So basically they're trying to, by law, because you know people like to follow laws. And what are laws, people? What are laws? Laws are only rules someone implements on other people. Laws are not something that are good or bad inherently. Laws are geared at the people with no power by the people with power. Case in point, marijuana, up until a few years ago, I don't know, 5, 6 years ago, 7 years ago, was illegal. And I would say the majority of the world. And people would not smoke it that were law-abiding citizens. As soon as the law changed, which was a matter of a piece of paper being passed through a place where they pass papers around, because that's their function, they don't actually work, they just pass papers around while they're, you know, checking out their nails. And it's just a matter of signing a piece of paper that then all the people that followed that law that was against the law now all of a sudden say, oh, it's not against the law, so I can do it. So from one day to the next, people that would not partake in marijuana use because it became legal started participating in it. That was the only change. The only change was someone in power told them they can do it, so they do it. Why don't you consider that next time you're following a law? Does the law make sense? And if it does, who put the law there? Who does it actually benefit? Because every law benefits somebody. It wouldn't be there if it didn't benefit somebody. I digress. Moving on, there's just so many articles. By October of 2023, there's newspapers now that are saying that people that did not get the treatment are going to be vindicated. And when I say the treatment, I hope you know what I'm referring to. I'm trying to be very careful because I'm trying to get back on the wagon and I don't want to be thrown off the wagon this time. And the other thing that started becoming a very big trend in 2023 is the real need for people with pure blood. And I'm going to leave it to you to figure out who the people with pure blood are. What else was happening that month? There are big companies like BlackRock that are now starting to be known that they are the big players of this world organization, because that's what it is. We're under an organization and it's a legal mafia. And then the other thing is, I have personally heard people say to other people, follow the science, follow the science. So the people that are treated, that took the treatment, are telling the people that are not treated that they should follow the science. Last year, as of 2023, there's been such a push on this bull crap about following the science. Science is as good as the people that own it, because science is ever evolving. Science doesn't stop when you get an answer. Science continues. Science is the evolution of life. And it's really quite funny because many people that say follow the science don't actually know the science. So there was many articles up and leading up until 2024 about how they are shaming the people that are actually following the science, the people that didn't take the treatment, and they're shaming the people that are following the science. Okay, we're going to skip this one. there is some talk, okay, what is this? What month is this? November. November. A really interesting article, and actually, this has been for very, very many years, and we have touched on other broadcasts about eating bugs and how they're pushing veganism and all sorts of diets that do not require animal products. Now, we've touched on this. You can listen to those broadcasts. There's just a few of them because I fell off the wagon very quickly. But now there are many, many, many more of these articles, and there's a lot bigger push for us to now go into that direction. And there was an article in the November 2023 Druthers newspaper that said contraceptive and harmful antibacteria found in the top 10 fast food samples. So they are not only forcing you and mandating treatments that are causing you to have adverse events. Actually, it's quite funny because there's somebody that I listen to from Cutting Through the Matrix. Oh, they're wonderful tin hatters. If you're ever into if you ever want to dabble in the tin hatters haven, go to Cutting Through the Matrix. That is the most amazing website that will say a lot. But Melissa, the beautiful woman that has taken over the website, said something that was really quite funny that I do want to share. She said, they say adverse events after the treatment. But an adverse event is like having a flat tire. That's an adverse effect. When you have a deathly event, or when it ruins your life because you are paralyzed, or you're having the shakes, or you're getting turbo cancers, or you're getting cancers, or you're getting blood clots, these are not adverse effects. These are life-altering effects. Okay, these are not adverse effects. Adverse effects is when you start having a thunderstorm in the middle of your outdoor wedding. That's an adverse effect. Okay, or outcome, or something like that. So they are now not only trying to openly tell you that you need to take these treatments, they are covertly hiding them in our food, water, air, and who knows what else we're going to find out. But this was a story in November, and basically what it does say in this article is that there are many toxins that are in our food, and those toxins actually are toxins that can cause serious physical and psychological effects. So things like diarrhea, depression, and in some cases, at the very, very worst, death if these people eat these fast food restaurant foods from now on. We always have been aware that fast food restaurants have nothing but garbage in them. They're fast food. They should be considered emergency foods only. Now people are using them as a staple, and this is not going to pan out long term because now they are putting these treatments in our food. At least that's what some of these reputable sources have indicated. Another, in December 2023, just last month, Pfizer, you know, that pharmaceutical company, sues Poland demanding money for undelivered and unwanted treatments. So what happened is every country was pretty much forced to jump on the wagon of purchasing these shots. And Poland, wonderful country, so far they have resisted, oh my goodness, they've resisted so many things, although they're being used for other things that are just as sinister. They have said, we're not using these shots, please, we're not going to use them, please take them back. And now the company is suing them, even though actually they should be sued, because not only do these treatments not work, they were forced illegally on the population of the world. And what's worse is that we're finding out that they're creating adverse effects. Let's just go with adverse effects. So Poland is being sued, not the first time. not the last. Poland is very well known for being a problem child of the world. Oh, I apologize. And then, as in 1984, final article that I thought was really interesting, which I think that we will probably also have to dive into a little bit deeper, is the subtle rewriting of history. In this article, what it goes to showcase is that in history, the rewriting of history and sort of massaging history to fit where it's supposed to fit has been a standard practice, but it has not been as open and as prevalent as right now. We are in a time where right now everything is going digital. Everything is on the internet. Everything is being taken off the written word. This is why it's very important, if you have the capability of being able to go to their website. I believe their website is druthers.com. I can't. Oh, and they're no longer on Facebook because they've been banned. They're no longer on Instagram because they've been banned. They're on youtube.com druthers, bitchute.com druthers, Telegram, rumble.com druthers, TikTok. They are on those websites. If you are able to get this paper and help them in contributing in this fight, they really do have some really great articles. And it's just a matter of balancing. If you like to listen to the news, if you are an avid newspaper reader, please try to take a neutral stance. This is really very important. The reason why I needed to find my cart and get right back on it is that when I fell off the cart, I thought maybe people will wake up. Maybe people will realize this is not the new normal we want, but that has not happened. So hence, I have to get back on the horse, back on the wagon, and I have to see if I can't cajole or remind or showcase what is being out there. Maybe people can't find it. Druthers is a good place to start. It's really easy. There isn't a lot of shocking things. There's a few things that will make you think, and then you can go and research it yourself. The subtle rewriting of history is really imperative at this time because people are going to look to history to see if this is normal. But the problem is history has been altered so many times that we actually don't know what the true histories of our history is. And when there's a takeover, as we are witnessing right now, they do need to make us a little bit more confused. And because we are coming away from the written word, this is something that can't be changed. Once you have a newspaper clipping or article in your hands, you can always refer back to this article and you can see what was said at that time in history. So December 2023, I can tell you what was written. If it is on the internet interface, it could be changed overnight. And you could think you read something and you could know you read something, you go back to that same article and guess what? It is altered. That is the reason why we are going digital in the schools. That is why we are going digital in the library. That is why we are going digital with government agencies. That is why we are going digital, period. Because digital cannot be controlled by the people. It can be controlled by the mechanism of the big mammoth machine that is running the world. If we do not start taking these kind of articles and collecting them and looking at them and making sense of them, I'm afraid that it might not look good. 2024 does not look good if we all do not get together, unite, strip away the nonsense that they're putting in front of us. I don't care if you don't like meat. I don't care if you do like meat. I don't care if you want to have sex with the same gender. I don't care if you want to be another gender. I don't care if you want to get together with a donkey. Just don't make it a priority for us to deal with it. Make it a priority that you are dealing with things that are functional for our health, for our wellness, for our survival. I want to make sure we all have food to eat. I want to ensure that we are all getting information that makes sense for all of us. And I don't want to hate other people. I don't want to hate someone that is complying and getting the treatment, because it's not my body, it's their body. But I expect the same from the treated. I expect that if I'm not treated, I expect the same respect as I give to someone that's decided to get treated. Because it is your body, it is your choice. But before you make a choice that is irreversible, I implore you, do your own research. Even if it seems that the person has an absolutely huge tinfoil hat, consider it. Just consider it. You don't have to make that decision based on that, but consider what people are offering as an alternative piece of information. With that, I wanted to leave you, and I wanted to just reintroduce our channel. I am hopeful that you will find this information not only helpful, but maybe entertaining. I am hopeful that I can speak to you guys, because in the last 2 years, if I'm being completely honest, I have become quite alone, because most people do not agree with what view I see of the world. And I am hopeful that this reaches the people that do see the view that I see. And I'm hoping that it will cajole people that maybe haven't looked at this view, and maybe they will peek under the curtain and see if what is being said and covered in these broadcasts is crazy. Because sometimes a conversation starts out as, you're crazy and I'm going to prove it. Great. Let's start there. But let's not spit on each other. This is not the time to divide. This is the time for us to come together, for all of us to get on the side of humanity, for all of us to get on the side of we care for each other, because we all bleed red. We are all in this together. It doesn't matter what your orientation is, what your race is, what your beliefs are. The one truth is, we are in this world problem together. It doesn't matter if you're in Africa, if you're in Asia, if you're in Europe, or if you're in Australia. We are here. This is the last war that will determine where humanity ends up. And I mean that in all seriousness. And this is why I've come back on, because I want to do what is my responsibility, and it is having this conversation. And even if people are going to attack me, I will do my very, very best to include them in a positive conversation. Because if we are not kind to one another, we will all perish. And we are all still just humans in one world village. And they are separating us into millions of villages that are against each other. People, it will not be easy. 2024 will be a challenging year. But together, it may be a little easier. I don't have high hopes. I'm sorry. But I'm here to try to make a valiant effort. So with that, I thank you very much for taking the time to listen to this little bobblehead. And if you have questions or if you have ideas for stories, please put them in the comments below. I will do my very best. Thank you very much. I want to wish you again a very, very, very prosperous 2024. And what I hope for 24 is a great awakening, and a great awakening by us, the general population, because we are in this together. We all bleed red, and the sooner we come to that color revolution, the sooner we will be able to put these people to bed and out of our lives. Thank you again, and have a good evening.